Hi and welcome to Distilling in Australia. My name is Nick and this is episode 36, part 5 of my Queensland liquor licence application process. So I just promised you I'd keep you abreast of what's been going on, and this video I do have some news, and I'll give you some further feedback that I got from the Queensland Office of Liquor and Gaming Regulations. But before we get into that, as usual, here is 5 seconds of your life you'll never get back. Okay, so a few announcements to start off with. First of all, before I get into what I've got received from the Queensland Office of Liquor and Gaming Regulations, I did in the last video sort of put a comment out there to my Patreon supporters, and I can there'll be a further announcement about that in a few minutes' time. So stay tuned for the Patreon supporters. So yeah, hopefully this will be some good news for you. All right, so today I received an email from the Office of Liquor and Gaming Regulations, and the email reads, and parts of this I'm going to keep out for obvious privacy reasons, but it reads as, "Dear Nick, in Darren's absence, please be advised that the application for the liquor license has been approved." Yes, done. I have it. The last thing I needed. I have now successfully obtained my Queensland liquor license, and yes, I'm smiling like a Cheshire cat, but gosh, yes, it's just such a relief. So as you saw in the precursor, I applied for this some months ago, and finally today in an email it has come through. So it says here, your liquor license number is, you're able to trade liquor immediately, and they've attached a copy of your liquor profile license. So I'm licensed now as a commercial artisan producer, and I have here, says here, licensed area description: distillery situated in garage of private residence located at. So there you go. It can be done. It can be done legally, and you can get through the process. Now, look, I'm going to crow here a bit because, I'm just an ordinary bloke, and as I've always said, I'm no guru. I'm just an ordinary bloke, and I've done lots of research and lots of reading, and I've done this whole process now. I have not consulted a solicitor, a town planner, or any industry expert in relation to this process. So right through from the very beginning of the concept of maybe doing this, right now through to finally the last thing I needed, which was a Queensland liquor license, none of this has been done using experts to help me. Okay, so I've done it all on my own. And the point here is that if I can do it on my own, you can do it on your own. And here I am sitting in my own licensed distillery, licensed liquor area as well. I have a permit to export from the ATO as well. So everything I've done, everything that I'm doing is contained within my garage in my home in suburbia, and it is all legal and certified. And I'm really happy. I'm happy for myself, but I also hopefully will inspire others to say, well, if Nick can do it, because he's a dumb prick, but if Nick can do it, hey, maybe I can do it as well. And you can, all right? There's nothing stopping you from doing it. I'll give you some pointers a little bit later on the things to do if this is this is a nano distillery, okay? So let's say it's not a micro, it's actually nano, it's smaller than micro. So, this is very deliberately done in this way. And so I'm going to give you some pointers in a few minutes' time about the process and what to aim for and hope for. But I'll just continue on with this. Sorry, I'm a bit excited. So it says 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday to Sunday, so I can trade 7 days a week. But it says here consumption off premises. All right, so again, I'll come to this in a minute with tips. And also says that as standard conditions, I can sell liquor from this premises so long as it's greater than 400 litres a year and less than 450,000 litres a year. Well, I'm not going to be getting up to anywhere near 450,000 litres. And it says here that the licensee may sell craft beer and artisan spirits produced by the licensee, me, on the licensed premises to persons at promotional events. Okay, so it means I can go out and sell my products at promotional events. So that's pretty well where I'm going to be operating. So if you're around town at the markets on the Gold Coast, on the Instagram account, I'll be posting where I'm going to be, and we'll be selling my products around town, and you'll be able to go to those and buy my products directly from me and say g'day. I'd love to go to say. Now, okay, so what I'm going to do is, sorry, this is unscripted. Everything I do is unscripted, so sometimes I ramble and get a bit lost, so my apologies. But for those of you who are interested in following this process or are following this process, I'm going to give you a couple of tips, okay? Because now I've done it, I can sort of say, yes, okay, well, I've done it, so I can give you a few tips. First tip is that, well, I suppose the first and most important thing is, even before you start this process, a couple of basic requirements. Firstly, you can't have a criminal record, okay? So, I mean, not you can't have, but it makes it a lot more difficult if you have a criminal record. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, if you're an undischarged bankrupt, you're probably going to have difficulties as well. In actual fact, you won't get it, okay? So if you're an undischarged bankrupt, they're the first two things that you need to think about before you even go down this track. So they're the two biggies. So if you don't fall into any of those criteria, then the rest of the things to go on is, first of all, aim small. All right, now I deliberately did that. I aimed for 100 bottles a week from this location, which means that I have to produce 40 litres a week LAL, which is pure ethanol. Okay, so that's my target of 40 litres per week, which will then give me a little over 100 bottles a week that I can sell at 40% ABV. So that's the first thing. Second thing is that by aiming small, you also fly under the radar to a great extent when it comes to council and those requirements. So if you're going to operate from home, make it a closed shop. So make sure that you make it perfectly clear that your premises is not going to be open to the public. You're not going to be doing distillery tours. You're not going to be doing bar sales or entertainment or meals or anything from your home. Okay, so make all those sorts of things very clear through the application process. The other thing is, especially when it comes to the liquor license, okay, the distiller's license and the liquor license are actually really quite different things, because the distiller's license, it's really just your obligation to pay the ATO their excise duties when you get to that threshold level of $350,000 of excise. So that's really what they're concerned about, and that you've got some basis of experience that you can run a distillery. With the Queensland liquor license, the focus is very different. The focus is on, the assumption is that you're going to be making noise. Okay, you're going to have people coming and you're going to be selling, and there's going to be music and meals and noise and all. That's the assumption. So you, as I said earlier, you need to make sure that you make it perfectly clear to your local member that that is not the case, because with a liquor license, you've got to get support of your local council. So the Liquor Commission will write to the local council and they'll say, this person has made application to open a licensed premises at this location. And so immediately what happens is it triggers they'll look at the approval process. Now I've done it as a home occupation, which I'm able to do because obviously council has supported that. So I'm doing it as a home occupation because I kept it to 40 litres a week. And also, I also signed a stat deck to say that the distillery and the licensed premises are permanently closed to the public. So they were two criteria, plus a few other things. But it's probably a good idea to get to know your local councillor, because what happens is that the planning department will boot it up to the local councillor and for them to sign off on it, effectively sign off on it. So that's probably not the exact way that it happens, but more or less, if your local councillor has objects to it, it's going to make the process a bit harder for you. So they're the sort of things that you need to look at. Be patient, do lots of research, just follow the process. Don't be a smart ass, okay? Don't think that you're right to open a distillery in your home. It's not, it's a privilege, okay? And that's probably the way I've approached it, is to say, well, if I can get this, it's a privilege for me to be able to do this. So yeah, that's to me a very important part. Be humble and be nice to the people you're dealing with, because, you know, they're human beings, and if you treat them with respect and dignity, they'll treat you with respect and dignity back. So, you know, it's as simple as that. So really, I mean, I'm not going to ramble on too much. I'm just obviously really excited. So this is the last in the series. It is the last thing I had to do, and it's absolutely... I'm stoked. But anyway, it's all good. So for my budding distillers, okay, now that I have my liquor license, I can announce this, and here's something for you guys as a way of saying thank you for your support. I'm going to give you a free bottle of my first batch. And I will post it to you in Australia as long as you've been a budding distiller on my Patreon page for 6 months. So if you live overseas and you've been a budding distiller on my Patreon page for 8 months, I will send you a bottle at that particular point in time. But for the first guys who have been supporting me, it'll be from batch 1, and I'll be sending that to you sometime in the next few months. So be patient. I've got a lot of work and things to do before I can send that out to you. But to you guys, thank you for your support, and as a thank you to you, there you go. You get a free bottle. And as I said, I'll send that to you in the next few months. I will be getting your address details off you to be able to do that. I don't normally have a drink when I'm doing one of these, but today, cheers to everyone, and thanks for following it, and yeah, it's done. Oh, that's good. All right, so another thing I'm going to be doing is when I release batch 1, bottles 1 through till 10, so only the first 10 bottles of batch 1 I'll be auctioning off. Okay, so bottles 1 through 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of batch 1 of my gin, of my pink gin, because that's what I'll be doing. It's a pink gin. I'm going to be auctioning that off, and you can bid on that. And the price that you pay will include the postage, as long as you're within Australia. If you're outside of Australia, then it'll just be the difference between what you paid and the international postage that it might cost me extra to do that. So that'll be something to look forward, a bit of fun. I'm just going to do the first 10 bottles because I figure, well, yeah, bottles through 1 through till 10 will be just a bit of fun, and I need to see how the marketplace likes my product in terms of how it looks and presents, and so it gives me a bit of a barometer to do that. So yes, I'll be announcing that in the next month or so when I have everything organised. I've still got a few legal things that I'm doing with the bottles, so I can't sort of show you those right now, even though I do have them. I've still got a few legal things that I need to jump through. So anyway, that's just something to look forward to in the next month or two. A lot of work to do now, so the big green button has been hit, and we'll be up and running and getting things organised and just fine-tuning those recipes and making sure that we've get you out a really great product. All right, well that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support. We're done. Done. Can't believe it. Anyway, ciao for now. Have a great week. Oh, shit. So good, Jack. So good. Oh, sore back. Ow, shit. Oh, ow. Oh. Distilling alcohol is illegal in Australia unless you hold the appropriate licenses and permits. I am not a lawyer and the contents of this video are not intended to be legal advice. Do not rely on any information contained in this video and seek your own legal professional advice before making any decisions. Be aware, the Australian Tax Office and the local law enforcement agencies will be taking interest in this channel due to its content. Please keep this in mind before posting any comments. Any comments posted are the opinion of the person posting and not of this channel. Let's get started.